get really comfortable because we're going to start with some breath work. Just finding a nice long spine and try to shake off the arms, shake off the head, relax the upper body as much as we can to start with. And maybe closing the eyes or lowering them, whichever feels right for you. And we're going to start straight away with the breath coming in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just a nice gentle sigh. And you can breathe as deeply as you want and as slowly as you want. We're just getting into the body. And as we start to breathe, just feeling that inhale expanding and filling. And the exhale releasing and relaxing. And just taking a few moments with that breath flowing nicely through to notice sounds around you from outside and from inside. Not really engaging with any particular sound. Just noticing each one and then letting it pass. And then notice the sound of your own breath. Feel the exhale and hear that sigh. See if you can make it a little longer. And then as we take this breath through, we're going to inhale, feel the belly and the chest expanding. And then as you exhale, gently pull the tummy in towards the spine. It's just a very gentle engagement. And then let yourself inhale again. You can just imagine that the belly and the diaphragm are almost like bellows. As we breathe in, we open them up. And then as we breathe out, we exhale, squeeze together. Squeezing the tummy muscles in to let out all of the air. As you breathe, you might want to add in a little mantra, just repeating in your head as you breathe out, I am letting go. Few more of these, just in your own time. Taking one more beautiful big breath in, fill the belly, fill the chest, hold it there for one moment, and then let it all out and squeeze the tummy in. And then let the breath return to a nice, natural rhythm. Just noticing how it feels, moving the breath in and out through the nose now. Wonderful. Before we begin to make any big movements, we're simply going to drop the chin to the chest and then roll the chin from side to side in semicircles. Just allowing the neck and the shoulders to feel a little bit of movement. Noticing any tension, any softness. Perfect. Just keep that going. And then see if you can slow it right down. Just keep moving there for a couple of moments while I just draw the curtains as the sun suddenly come out. Perfect. When you're ready, bringing it back to center, lifting the chin, and then we're going to roll the shoulders up and back. Nice big movements, taking them right up towards the ears and then rolling them back and down. Fabulous. As you take them back and down, see if you can try to squeeze them together. Noticing any little crackles and pops that you might find there. Fabulous. Settling them back and down when you're ready. Nice tall body. Lovely. We're going to place one hand on the floor next to us. Doesn't really matter which side we start with. We're going to take the opposite hand, inhale it up, and then exhale, take a lovely lean over. And if the arm up feels a bit too much, bring the hand to the shoulder. And we're just opening up the side of the body. Wonderful. On an inhale, you're going to take it all the way back up to seated. Have a little roll again, maybe just 2 or 3 times, particularly if we've been sat at a desk all day. It's quite nice just to get into the shoulders. And then we're going to take the hands to the opposite side. Inhale up the opposite arm. Exhale, take it over. Nice little stretch there. A few breaths, reaching over and away, or hand to the shoulder, whichever feels right. Fabulous. Inhale, bring it all the way back up. Again, just take a little roll. Lovely. We're going to take the legs out nice and wide. So just as wide as feels comfortable. There can be a little bend in the knees so they don't have to be pushed down to the ground. Sitting up lovely and tall. We're going to take the arms out to the side, pointing the fingers away from each other. And then we're going to take a little side to side motion. So you're going to reach to one side, keeping the body tall. Come back to center. Reach to the other side. And back to center. We're going to take a few more of these. So again, we're getting into the side of the body. See if we can lift up the pelvic floor, lift in the tummy. Fabulous, lovely. Let's take one more on both sides. Starting to feel the body waking up a little bit. back to center. We're going to inhale, take the arms up towards the sky, and then exhale, fold forward, hands down to the ground. So we might be sat up, we might come a little closer to the floor, whatever the body wants to do this evening. You might want to just drop the head down. And again, feel free to move into the head and the neck area a little bit. Fabulous. When you're ready, let's inhale, roll it up to the center. We're going to take the hands under the legs, give them a little help to come back into center, and then we're going to sweep it over onto your hands and knees position. So this is tabletop. Now do feel free to pop blanket under the knees or have something cushioned under the wrists, just making sure the body feels really comfortable. Hands spread under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to engage the belly very slightly, just lifting it up and in. Feeling that lovely strong position that we've got, a nice square posture. If we're locked into the elbows, can we just bend them slightly? I feel those lovely muscles working as well. Perfect. We're going to take the right leg out and back. Push the heel away and have a nice stretch into the back of the leg. Fabulous. Just taking a few breaths here, gaze down to the ground, feel that pull of the belly coming up and in. If it feels right for you, you could take that back foot up off the floor. So we're going to feel a little bit more pressure on the stomach. If the back is really aching, let's just stay down. So listen to your body. And if you do want to take a little further into a balance, you take the left arm out in front. So you've got a nice long line. You can point the toe or you can flex them. Fabulous. Then bring it in. Take a moment. Do feel free to sit back and give the wrist a little wiggle, a little shake. Get all the blood flowing. And then bring it back down to our tabletop. We'll take that onto the opposite side. So you're going to take the left leg out and back, hook the toes on the floor and push the heel away. Really waking up the lower body. A few breaths there. Then if it feels right for you, we're going to lift that foot up. It doesn't have to go any higher than the hip. Just in line, it could be just an inch off the floor. Pulling the pelvic floor in, tummy in. Take that right arm out in front if you want to. Taking some nice steady breaths there. Lovely. Bring it back to center. And again, sit back on the heels. Take a little shake out, a little roll. Wonderful. We're going to take the arms behind us. Now you can hold hands. You could interlace the fingers, pull back and down. Or if neither of those suit, you can take hands to the forearms. So anything that opens up the chest. If we have the fingers interlaced, we're going to pull back and down and push the heart up. So this is great for our posture. Just opening up the chest and the belly. Now you might find here that the tummy wants to collapse forward, so we've got a bit of an arch. I want you to see if you can pull the stomach in and have the belly stacked over the hips, the shoulders in line. Lovely tall body, but strong center. Perfect, lovely. Let's very gently release the arms. Give them a little shimmy, a little bit of a roll. We're going to come back to our tabletop. So hands underneath the shoulders, spread into the fingers. Then from tabletop, we're going to start to move the knees backwards. Body stays where it is, and we're going to try and find half plank position. So half plank is knees are quite far behind the hips, the belly is engaged, and we're in a nice long line. Full plank is toes tucked under, legs long, knees lifted. Feel free to go into full plank if that feels good for you. Otherwise, we're going to stay here in half plank, unlocking the elbows and just feeling the weight of the body in the arms, gently pulling in the belly, lifting the pelvic floor. Wonderful. Then we're going to send it back to child's pose, nice and gently, sending the bottom back towards the heels, arms stretched. Let the head come down. If the head doesn't quite reach the floor, you could always stack the hands, maybe in fists, and pop the head down there. Or if you do have some handy pillows, etc., do grab them. Just pause in there for a moment. Take some lovely long breaths. And we're going to take the hands back, stretch them forward, and then see if we can take it back into our half plank, or as I said, you can come into your full plank. We're going to push the floor away. Feel the shoulder blades almost pulling away from each other. Fabulous. Just one or two more breaths here. And then we're going to start to bend the elbows and lower the whole body down onto the floor. Give the hips a little wiggle, feel the belly on the ground. Then we're going to start to inhale, slide the hands forward, and we're coming to get the elbows underneath the shoulders. So this is a Sphinx position. Feet are flat if that feels okay. You can tuck the toes under if you like. And we're lifting the head and the chest. Little back bend, not pushing it any further than we feel good about. Lifting the heart. If that feels good, you might just take the gaze round to the side and then forward and round to the other side. Maybe take that a few times. This can help just ease a little bit of back tension. Fabulous, lovely. Bring it back into centre when you're ready and slide the hands back under the shoulders. We're going to tuck the elbows tight into the body and then see if we can push all the way back up onto the knees and over to our child's pose. Lovely. I'm going to give you an option here for a little flow. Now just see how your energy feels, how the back feels, how the belly feels. So you can come from child's pose. You're going to inhale, roll yourself all the way up to half plank. As you exhale, you're going to take it back to child's pose. So we inhale, take it forward, find that core activity. Exhale, take it back. And you just flow with your breath. It's great for getting a little bit of fire in the belly, but we're not setting off the sympathetic nervous system. So we're staying nice and low to the ground, slow movements. Fabulous. Just a few more. Perfect. We're going to take it up now Into our half plank one more time. Fabulous. And we'll walk the hands back towards the knees. Sit up for a moment and again give the wrists a lovely roll. Get that energy flowing through the arms. A little shake off. Perfect. We're going to come back to our tabletop position. Just for a moment, get a nice balance, see where we are. And then from here, you're going to step your right foot forward. So hands are on the inside of the foot. Knee is bent and the knee is right over the ankle. So if we feel like we're here, sort of in runner's pose, give us a little shift, a little shuffle forward into your lunge position. Just going to settle there for a moment and maybe just rocking forwards and backwards here. This can really just release hip tension, particularly if we've been sat down quite a bit. Lovely. And from here, I'm going to settle into that lunge position. Inhale, roll it up. Nice tall body. So pushing into that front foot, connected the back foot. Maybe lowering the hips slightly, just finding that sort of sweet spot of activity. We feel like it's challenging, but not sort of overstimulating. Going to bring the hands together at the heart. Roll the shoulders back and down. Take a lovely deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to turn towards the thighs. So you're turning towards the right. Now you can stay lifted with the body. So it's a great option. We're squeezing the tummy, squeezing the back. Or you can take the elbow to the knee. So you're taking the left elbow to that right knee. Push the hands together. And this is where we really want to feel like the pelvic floor is lifting, tummy's nice and active, so we're staying strong. Your option after this would be to tuck those back toes under and lift the back knee. Lovely. You choosing where you need to be for 3 more breaths. Perfect. If we have lifted that back leg, we're going to lower it down. We're going to inhale all the way back up and then exhale, take the hands to the ground, step it back to our tabletop position. And give the hips a little bit of a swing from side to side. Maybe taking them around in circles or doing a little bit of salsa hips, loosening any tension there. Lovely. So we're going to take that on to the other side. So when you're ready, we're going to take that left foot forward, remembering to get the foot right under the knee, and then take that little swing forwards and backwards. And you might notice that one side feels very different to the other. Perfect. And we're going to settle it forward. When you're ready, inhale, lift the body. Bring the hands together at the heart. Roll the shoulders back and down. Settle the breath, and if we can, lowering into the hips a little, finding the edge of the posture. Lovely. We're going to inhale. As you exhale, turning in towards the thigh. So we're turning to the left this time. Relax the shoulders, the jaw. So you can stay here, or if you did on the other side and you feel like you want to on this side, we take the right elbow down to that left knee, push into the hands. Keep a lovely active core. Keep us balanced. We might be a bit wobbly on one side as well. It's always different. If you wanted to take it further, it's lifting that back knee off the floor. Fabulous. And just taking 2 or 3 more breaths wherever we are. Lovely. Inhaling when you're ready, taking it back to center. Exhale, hands to the ground. We're going to step that knee back, and again, taking some circles, shaking the hips, even flexing forwards and backwards. See what feels right for you. Lovely. And bringing it back to center when you're ready. Just take a lovely big breath in. Let it all out. We're going to sit back on the knees for a moment. And then depending on the space you're in, you might want to turn to face the long edge of your yoga mat, just so you've got a little bit more space, or if you've got lots, that's fine. I'm going to come up high onto the knees, so hips are right over the knees, and we're going to start to feel the belly gently lifting up. So imagine the belly button's being pulled up to the heart. Take the hands together at that heart space. I'm going to take the right leg out to the side and see if we can get that foot in line with the knee. Keep sending the hips slightly forward rather than back. So if we feel like we're starting to collapse a little, bring it on in. Lovely. Perfect. When we're ready, we're going to take right hand to the right leg. Inhale, left arm comes up, and then as we exhale, we're going to slide down. So the right hand might reach the thigh, the calf, as big or as little as you want. And just like before, if this arm bothers you at the top, you could take the hand to the shoulder, or even just take the hand to the hip and enjoy that little bit of pull, a little bit of activation in the side of the body. Keep pushing the hips forward. A few breaths here. Lovely. On an inhale, we're going to bring it back up. Exhale, release the hands, shimmy off the arms. So this is an option. This might not suit. It might, see how you feel, but we're going to see if we want to take the left hand down to the floor now. If we feel like these hips are going quite far back, can we push it up, push it back? We could always bring the floor a little closer to you. So if you've got a cushion, or if you do have yoga blocks, fabulous, you can always pop them under your hands. So see what you can find, position that you find that works for you. So planting that left hand down. Right hand can stay on the hip, or we can lift it up to the sky. Nice long breaths. Your next option from here would be to lift the right foot up off the floor. Now you might play with just lifting and lowering, nice little pulsing action. This is great for our hip strength as well as our side of the body. 2 or 3 more breaths wherever we are. Perfect, bringing that foot down, and then to come out of this, we're simply going to let this right hand come all the way down to the floor. Walk the hands forward and then roll all the way up to center, just so we're not putting too much tension into the core. Bring the knees down. Take the hands to the hips, maybe take the knees a little wider, and we're going to circle Circle with the hips, just one way and then the other. Fabulous. Bring it back to center. Bring those knees back under the hips, and then we're going to take that onto the other side. So left foot is coming in line, excuse me, with that right knee. Bringing the hands to center for a moment, roll the shoulders back, push the hips forward. When we feel confident here, we're going to take the left hand to the left leg. Inhale, right arm up. And as we exhale, slide it over to the left. So we're opening up into the ribs. Keep the hips gently pushing forward. Fabulous. Couple more breaths there. And let's inhale, lift it back to center. As we exhale, just take a little roll. Recenter yourself. And we'll take it down to the floor or a cushion or a block, whatever feels right for you, with the right hand. Gently encouraging the hips forward. When you're ready, bringing that left arm up. So more than welcome to stay here. Lifting the heart. If you feel like you want to take it further, we lift that left foot up. So there's a little more pressure in this right hand. Again, you can lift and lower. Keep activating the belly. Fabulous. 2 or 3 more breaths wherever you are. And then this left hand's going to come all the way down to the floor. We're going to walk the hands forward, roll it up, and then bring that knee back in. Just sit down, maybe take a little wiggle, moving into that lower body. Fabulous. Then if you did turn to face that long edge, just turn it back to face the short edge now. So you've got a little bit of mat in front of you. We're going to bring it back down to tabletop position and tuck the toes under. Now we don't tend to do a lot of downward facing dogs in evening practices just because it brings the blood into the head, it wakes you up, etc. But what we can do is a nice puppy posture or heart melting pose. So just make sure you've shuffled to the back of the mat slightly. You can have the toes tucked under or you can have them flat. See how the feet feel. We're going to position the hips right over the knees and that's where they're going to stay. Then we're going to start to walk forward with the hands. Lower the body towards the floor. Now you might find that the forearms can come down. You might find that the chest can come down. If you do reach the floor with the face, you can pop the chin on the floor or the forehead, or you could pop a cushion underneath, whatever feels right for you. So we're trying to literally melt the heart to the floor. Taking just a few nice long breaths here. Perfect. When you're ready, you're going to start to lift back up to your tabletop position. Flatten out the toes if they've been tucked under. And then we're going to take some circles with the body now. Whole big circles. Let the head dangle, moving in. Lovely. Take it round in the other direction. Fabulous. Bringing yourself into the center of the mat. We're going to bring the forearms down to the floor. Now, to get the best position here, you could take the fingertips to the elbows, just so you know you can touch, and then bring the arms down. So we can have two options here. So this is sort of our last little heated element for the core. Your first option would be to just walk the knees back, get into that sort of half plank position where the belly starts to feel active. We pull the tummy in, we pull the pelvic floor up. Your next option would be to tuck the toes under and lift the knees off the floor. See if we can drop the hips, coming into one long line. So we've either got knees down or knees lifted. Taking 3 breaths there. Wonderful. When you are ready, we're going to start to walk the hands back, slide it back to your child's pose, and let yourself have a little hang out there. And you might even take the knees lovely and wide. Rest yourself down. Again, you can take arms or hands under the head if you wish. Fabulous. When you feel ready, starting to peel yourself up off the floor, we're just going to slide over onto the sitting bones and come to a comfortable seated posture for a moment. So legs can be crossed or feet together, whatever feels right for you right now. Find a little bit of a lift. So imagine you're being pulled from the crown of the head, but let the shoulders be super heavy. Lovely. Just settling the breath in and out through the nose. Fabulous. And then we're going to try a little breath before we come to a nice short relaxation. We're going to try a little breath similar to what we started with, but a little bit more active. So when we started, we were just breathing in as normal. And then as we exhaled, we're gently pulling in the tummy muscles. I want us to take this on a little further. So we're going to breathe in as normal. But then we're going to breathe out with a bit of a, and we're going to pull the tummy muscles right in with a little bit of force, almost as if we were squeezing the breath out of the body. I was going to say like a whoopee cushion. That doesn't quite sound like the vibe I'm going for, but that real squeeze of the belly. So we're breathing in through the nose. As we exhale, belly squeezes right in. Breathing in through the nose. Squeeze it out. Breathe in through the nose. Lovely. We're going to take 5 more of those in your own time. Keep the shoulders and the face relaxed. When you've taken your 5, simply let the breath settle. And this breath is really good for, one, activating the belly, but also releasing tension. So we're releasing it from the face as we out, and we're releasing it emotionally, that little sound of and it can be as loud as you want. Just warn people in the house if they're there. We're going to come to lying down now. So if you do want to put a jumper on, if you're feeling a little bit nesh this evening, Always welcome to bring a blanket into the practice as well. We're just going to come down to the ground and have knees nice and softly bent, feet flat to the floor, resting the hands on the belly. See if you can slide the shoulders towards each other. And just lowering or closing the eyes, whatever feels right for you right now. Letting the breath just travel in and out. Notice how the body feels. Noticing how the breath feels in the body. Be aware of that lovely lift of the belly as we breathe in, and the softness as we breathe out. And come back to the sound of your breath, just like we did at the start. And as we were watching the breath come in and out, you might find that the mind is chattering, that thoughts are coming in. And as we notice any thoughts, just allow yourself to acknowledge them and then let them go. Just acknowledge the thought, let it go. Come back to your breath. You might even just say to yourself, I'm breathing in and I'm breathing out. Keeping a focus on that breath. You can keep the knees bent, or if you feel like taking the legs out long, and just staying there for a few more moments, staying with the breath, feeling that lovely in and out. And just like we did at the beginning now to allow the breath to come in through the nose and out through the mouth. And there's a softness to that exhale. A little bit of ease. And before we begin to move back into the real world, just settle that breath and listen to the sound of my voice. Reach out in both directions. Feel outwards and feel inwards. Touch the innate force within you, the energy that flows through everything, the one vibrating light that reminds you to love every square inch of yourself, to nourish yourself with kindness. Reach out in both directions, feel inwards and feel outwards. Notice the inhale breath taking in the exhale of the trees. Feel how the earth supports you and every step you've ever taken. The sun that warms you, the rain that calls you, and the great liminal infinite that beckons you beyond aloneness. Reach out in both directions. Connect the two and form a great circle, the greatest circle of all, the unity of all that is. Take a beautiful big breath in and sigh it all out. And when you're ready, start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, rolling the wrists and the ankles. Just taking a little stretch, a movement, making the movements bigger as you go, taking your time until you feel ready to roll over onto one side and push yourself back up to your seated position, whatever that looks like for you right now. Take a moment to take the hands together at the heart, knock the head down. The mind just giving way to the body and everything it's been able to do. Thank yourself for coming this evening. That's really the trickiest bit. And thank your beautiful bodies for everything they're doing. Namaste.